Yes, Trina is the main feature for the evening, and his art is here on display. There are pieces for sale, so if you're interested in that, you would see this young man right here coming through the door.
Yes.
He is the main feature this evening. So we have a nice list, a good time. You have your 5 minutes. You can watch the clock if you so desire, because I'll put it so you can see it. We have the light condom, this mic, that mic, and we are set to go. Is there anything else?
Me.
Oh, yes, an announcement from John.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Thank you. As usual, I'm trying to do geeky things with poetry, and I'm trying to start doing Wi-Fi videos. It's limited by the bandwidth. I think the bandwidth is rather low here and won't run 2 cameras very well, but I'm going to run it anyway. It may upload and be fairly good quality once it uploads. So, it's sort of weird about that because it might take a day or 2 before it even appears online. But it is streaming. I saw it streaming. It buffered a little bit. But anyway, I just thought I'd mention that. And I'm going to try to. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to find some coffee shops that have really fast connections. And well, you know, it has to be no, but really fast internet connections, not the other type. But, you know, so I can run the camera. And that's about it. Oh, and forget the oxymoron. Use OxyClean. That's my story for the night.
All right, so there we go. I hope you're as happy as I am, because if you are, you're ecstatic by now. All right, I don't look that way. I know that. Never mind. So, let me just read through the first 5 so they know who's here. Looks like we have Jeremy, then Buford, then Julia, then Karen, then Jack, then Michael Jackson, and Annette Punicello doing tango. Who wrote that in there? Jeez, anyway, so give Jeremy a round of applause. He's the first one up, a musician at heart, and he's ready to knock my socks off.
Yeah, I don't need a microphone. I'm going to sing without one. All right. Probably with my 5 minutes, I'll probably get two short songs. I know it's wrong to lie so late. Sorry, can I tune in real quick?
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah.
Stopping the clock is back to the time to the early days of yesteryear.
was love for me. All of my life I long, long, long,
All right. Let's see, what should I do? I don't do. Nothing very much.
it's fine to recite the line. Winter cannot touch your cow. It's fine to recite the line. It's better that you're fucking this out. And I knew who you were, but I chose to ignore. Before or during, I'm not there. Talking was always a chore. It's best to stare at the ground. Take notes of those who live well. Open your ears to the song. They're screaming in your private hell. And I knew who you were, but I chose to ignore. Before or during, I'm not there. Talking was always a chore.
Okay.
All right. Give Buford a round to warm it up for him. Just to remind people, I forgot to tell you that we are live streaming here. We have been for the past several weeks. And a couple of people didn't know this, or they were surprised, so I should remind myself to say this if you're streaming live, and it goes over to YouTube after a while. So you know, so if you start cussing out your uncle, he happens to be watching, find out.
Yeah, don't be nice to your uncle if you can handle it. From Thanksgiving, the 28th of November, to Christmas, the 25th of December, there is basically a month. And in my case, December 27, 2013, I turned a gray-haired 64 years old. Paul McCartney, around 7 years old, in Liverpool, England, at the time I was coming into the world as the third child of Gene and Earl Bunton of Mobile, Alabama, is a bit past 64 himself. An aging billionaire, I would imagine, with a still fine voice. My voice, confined to this piece as well as a few thousand more, I believe, over 40 years of composing verse, involves mostly now these essay-like prose poems, as I tired of the old cut-line form, and like the rest of my life, I just stopped when I finished, having seen where the words have gone. Between Thanksgiving and the final days before Christmas, I continued to work with large, childlike teenagers who need a diaper change or a reminder to go to the bathroom before getting on the school bus at the end of the day, to concentrate on words and work at hand so as not to impede their own learning process, to not hit each other in the extreme cases, or for a certain
developmentally challenged young woman, 200 pounds or so and 16 years old, a reminder to stay in the classroom and not go wandering about, and to not get involved in anything romantic with the smartest kid in the class, a young man with at least special ed level star athletic abilities. Another just turned 18-year-old young man with a shunt in his head to drain off water, covers all with hair, and has a part that marks the scar on and in his head. He is also a talented athlete who worries, it seems, that he'll suffer more damage and holds back on athletics except when he wishes to risk injury. All of us in this classroom atmosphere can encourage him to play. I myself am part of the quote team that helps the SI or severely impaired classroom students on their way to the next adventure, a part-time job or placement in some program that addresses however they are differently abled, moving on to new life. I want to do another little. We got a little time, right, Dan?
Yeah, you got 2 minutes.
Okay. I kept looking over them. I couldn't decide which one I wanted to do. But better hurry, huh? There we go. Happy Thanksgiving to you. More Thanksgiving. You seem at least as intense as I am, but you know how to have fun. You're too serious, my mother told me when I was a young unmarried man finishing up my bachelor's degree while living at home enjoying the cheap rent. At 2:30 today I meet you to begin our San Francisco to Oakland adventure at your sister's house for lots of good food. She welcomes and almost engulfs you, worries about you, I think, you and your transitional period, I believe, from emotional, physical, and sexual assault, injuries to your body, your heart, your soul. Later on, football and TV may enter into things, turkey, dressing, and other treats over at your family's house. You and I exercise a decision to spend time together as friends with people you have loved all your life, remembering those who are gone and continue to fill our lives.
Thank you, all right. So we got Julia, then Karen, Jack, Dawn, Stephanie, and then Jack Melander. And give this. Oh yeah. Julia, do you want this one there, or do you want to come up?
I think I'll come up, but I may sit down.
All right. Well, you got a chair. And you got this. Your convenience and ours.
Okay, thank you.
For a nice round, please welcome her. Of the mysteries.
Is it working?
Just get a little closer.
Hello? Hello?
Working.
It's working. This is a new one, and then 2 from the book. Book's called Night, goes for $5. Dream. I dreamed of a department store selling wounds, some raised up by fluttering wings, some edged with delicate lace, some under spotlights backed by mirrors. It was an expensive store. Each wound came with a story. Immaculate shopmen carried rolled scrolls on silver platters to read the history of wounds in low, precise voices. The shoppers paused and asked their friends' advice, as if they were choosing diamond necklaces or ball gowns. Some of the wounds still bled, some had healed scars that ached in winter. Veterans also shopped there, feeling their own wounds were out of fashion and wanting something better. Drinking fountains ran with bright red blood. Broken hearts dangled from chandeliers. Who'll take you seriously at a party without a broken heart? A large silver green abalone shell full of glass eyes. Run them through your fingers. What do you see? There were no price tags. Each wound came at its own cost. You went on paying and paying. The department store of wounds was always full. I dreamed nobody could live without one. And this is from the book. It's called Fiddle Strings. Each person swarming through the city is a fiddle string. God's fingers brutal, gentle, pluck music from us, vibrate us mind and body. We do not stop at our skins. Music rises from us like steam rising from a sewer grating, a gutter rising past the moon. We can't hear our own music any more than we can see our own noses. We're stuck in a symphony of meanings wrenched out of us without our permission. It can hurt. Music aches through us cold as a kiss to our very bones. We try to focus on the ordinary and possibly as Jesus walking on water, but there is no ordinary. When we're in love, one person fills the world, but God's fiddle insists we're all like that all the time. We can't believe it. There is room. On the other hand, we weren't asked. Our music makes us larger and lighter than balloons in the Macy's Day Parade, and we always knew we could fly. It's just that we've forgotten. God's fingers take songs out of our mouths like a pickpocket. We don't know we're singing. He lets us keep our privacy. We sing naked in our showers behind a plastic curtain with yellow ducks on it. And the rains come down. Our music is beautiful as we are. We can't hear ourselves. We can't see ourselves. We can't know ourselves. The city shines with our echoes. Wet plastic yellow duckies. So beautiful. And one on poetry. A guy at the cafe said poetry didn't work anymore because nothing worked anymore. I agreed that nothing worked, but poetry isn't part of nothing. It never was. Poetry isn't a lever you pull for a candy bar or a lottery number. Poetry isn't button, not even the sweet buttons on people's bodies. Poetry hovers over a blank page, a breath caught forever, not to work, not even to play. Poetry is a weed growing wild inside us, a weed of want and dream, ignoring the growl of blind lawnmowers. Poetry pulls elephants' noses, and that's how they got so long. Poetry stubs its toes on stars and goes, ouch, 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 ouch! Poetry brushes its teeth with television and gargoyles with glory. Poetry spills from our lips in shining spirals like a child's slinky going downstairs. Poetry eats breakfast cereal and graves, coughs up coffins and butters headstones like toast with plenty of honey. Poetry takes notes inside under lovers' beds, guessing at moans and sweet sounds nobody knows how to spell. Nothing is ever enough. Poetry pours more salt into the sea. At street corners where traffic lights command stop or walk, poetry flashes fly, blowing wind through our wing feathers, the wings we don't have, paper wings.
And I'm the illustrator of the book, Christopher.
Absolutely.
Oh, there we go. We have connection.
Christopher.
Yeah, dude. All right. Thank you, Julie. Karen is next, then Jack, then Dawn, then Stephanie, then Jack Mellon. Just so we have two Jacks this evening.
That's the newest.
I got one of those poetry.
A nice round of applause for the new artist. There we are.
It's okay, baby. I am sitting with my arms around a blank page, rocking it gently, whispering words of reassurance, hoping, as poets do, to comfort it well enough to get it to talk to me. November prayers. Trawler turns running lights on a mile out, working late. Fishermen praying to Father Neptune for a good catch. Enough to feed a family, enough to fix the boat, fish another season. On shore I watch slowly fading light. Softly shushing surf entices. But I know November's water would pierce my feet like a frozen ice pit. And it seems a good night to toss flowers into the waves. But I have no flowers. So I toss a silent prayer to Manaweaver, old forgotten god of my people. He of the wild green seaweed hair and eyes that change from blue to green like mine. He knows my heart's desire. Serenade. Just another aging Chinese man, hair the color of autumn snow on Mount Shasta, shoulders stooped, eyes like rich alluvial soil, sparkling with his smile as he takes the seat ahead of mine on the L. Turns, says, "Lovely day, isn't it? Would you like me to sing you a song?" "Certainly. Only a fool could refuse such an offer." He stands, belts out Sinatra's "Around the world I've searched for you." His voice would compel a dryad to leave her tree. He needs a nap, he says. Gets off at 28th Avenue. Sunset. You called from Bert to tell me the sunset is fabulous. Send me running to the beach where tide is out. Clouds are painted in colors of all your most sensuous dreams. Salmon, peach, and scarlet permeate water where it laps sand gently, like a lover who cannot taste enough the salt sweat of her beloved. I hurl broken sand dollars out to sea like tiny organic frisbees. Gently place undamaged ones on wetter ground so they will have a better chance to live. Look into the eyes of a fat white dog who pleads for a pat on the head, bounds off, comes back for more. Write, "Sky, I love you," in sand that is saturated with ocean's embraces. Sand appears uniform, is made of jewel-colored crystals, diverse as species of nudibranches. But you must have patience to observe closely, or you will miss the glory of what you touch. The colors vanish, revealing stars invisible in the light of the one we orbit. And I wrap myself in night-stroke truths, go seeking warmth.
Oh, thank you so much. Give me this round. Fair enough. Now we have Jack O'Neill, correct?
Yes.
All right. And then we have Dawn, Stephanie, Jack Melander, and Marvelous Marvin, and Marvin the Martian, it says.
I apologize if you were hoping not to hear a word more about Black Friday until next year. And this is written like the word or title, Black Friday, goes down, and then each line starts with a letter of the word. So
Acrostic.
an acrostic.
Right.
Thank you, Dan. Black Friday, a more aptly named national holiday, cannot exist, while in the newsroom, the brightest minds declare, "We've gone too local. We need to report on Black Friday in Samarkand and Timbuktu, in Egypt and France, in Geneva and Rio. We need to get relevant. Black Friday in the ghetto." By the shores of Gimme Goomy lounged us lard-brained, lard-ass, lard souls. All us trust in our high-tech soul corsets, cap and gowned in our kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, master, doctorate, postdoc, cap and gown, parched, meant degree, kicking and screaming about it and how it is not enough. Finding with every learned technique and context and quotable source fault, risibly risen right there in my mind's eye teacup, the essence of my argument and me, one and the same, indentured permanently to the master of survival and just trying to get by, devoid of any sense of actual satisfaction, about to achieve the next moment of my existence, yearning perpetually for the unattainable miracle that will make it so. And this one has no title. You be the judge, gain and loss and gore, above it, beneath it, worse than that. No Cain and Abel had the first two been daughters. Or a more mundane explanation, why not just study in your room? Is the murder of Abel the horror, or the fact that endless days of Eden is too boring for a story? Do I need to thank Cain for giving me a reason to go on living? And one more with no title. No poem today, head's not in it.
Okay.
It not here or there, or so it seems. Unvisited by image, I am visited by not see. I see not see as all. Then casually, reading words or counting words, I look up, and all there it they all are, welcoming. Thank you.
And that brings us to Don Brennan, so give him a nice round of applause. He and his friend Bill Mercer are starting a series, new poetry series, the third Saturdays, or what is it?
First Saturday.
First Saturday, thank you. And the first one is this coming Saturday, which I will be the feature of, so if you'd like to come to that, or a new poetry series, if you're showing up for that, I hand it over to this man of expertise and
And I
excellence.
have flyers in case you were ready to. I was going to start with that.
Oh, well, you know.
Okay. Shut my mouth. Sometimes even a most dedicated poet can run out of things to say. The way one runs out of Fuji apples, for example. Or comes to learn too late that the breakfast cereal box is as empty as a deleted mind. Vacuous as a late-night city bus rumbling along deserted streets where there's no one waiting on any corner to get on and join in the fun of staring with you and the two other passengers at your own reflections in the windowed dark. Sometimes every word seems a hopeless bore, like those of a cocktail party loudmouth, or another TV commercial screaming at the viewer to press the mute button now for Christ's sake before the brain strangles on high-density bullshit and dies right there inside your head. Sometimes it has all been said and you know it, the way a medieval mystic hermit knew that words are not even fingers pointing at the moon, but merely insignificant bits of straw caught in a passing breeze. And sometimes your muse is Lao Tzu, who told us over 1,000 years ago that the spilling of words from one's mouth is often nothing other than a sure sign that the mouth knows not whereof it speaks. Yet, like Lao Tzu, we go on and put the words down and run them out and hope, as most dedicated poets are wont, that someone somewhere will hear what we are saying and get it. Yeah. Arrested Development. A drunk on the bus, bleary of eye, unsteady on his feet, loud, of course, and belligerent, but grinny, the vacant alcohol grin, taunting the driver, laughing at her demand to either sit down and be quiet or get off. A drunk in his 60s, suffering from arrested development, playing the role of wise-ass teenager. I get off, weary of